So this video is part 2 of why Funder is so fun, and it picks up where the last one left off. If you haven't watched the first video, you really need to watch it in order for this to make a lot of sense. You can still follow the tips even if you haven't watched it. But if you have watched it, you'll understand the why behind what I'm saying. So here we go. But these waves, our two waves are synchronizing. And they sort of culminate in that brief moment of total unity when the dog is running right through your legs, when they're directly underneath you. And then they run out the other side, they grab the common object, and then they come back and do it again. And so there's waves within waves. There's little microwaves, and then there's the bigger, waves of the whole game, which goes back and forth, and all the way up into the wave of life. But there's waves at all levels. But that's the magic of the game of Funder. The game is really, really beautiful for these reasons. Now, Funder is fun no matter how you play it, so just play it. Just go play it anywhere, anytime with your dog. It is just a fun game. But if this is intriguing to you and you want to maximize the feeling of resonance and well-being that you can get from using this game, then here's my top tips to get more out of it than you might currently be getting. So the first tip would be to play the game in an area that's big enough to accommodate at least 4 full-length strides of your dog so that they can get the full extension and full collection. I would say at least 4 times before they get the food. So it may be a bigger area than you're used to playing it in. And if you don't have an area that big, play Funder anyway. It's still fun. I'm just talking about how to maximize the benefit of this game. So make sure you're playing in an area that's big enough. And then number 2, you need to use the right food. Again, you can use any food to just play the game, but to maximize the benefits, you need to use the right food. And the right food is heavy enough that you can throw it at least 4 full stride lengths away from you. So food that's too light just won't go that far. So you need a little bit of weight to it. And it needs to be the right color and size that your dog can see it in the environment that you're currently in, that your dog can see it without searching for it, so they can run straight to it, grab it, and come right back. Because if they're stopping the wave in order to go find the food, like I said, the game is still fun, but you're not going to get that maximum feeling of resonance when they're doing that. So, like I was just recently playing in the winter in the snow, and if the snow is really deep and fluffy, it's tough. But if you can get, on a little bit harder, more packed snow, you have to use dark colored food. You can use, chunks of beef, or you can use larger kibble, or you can use dried beef or duck or liver or anything dark that's dried that's still heavy enough that you can throw it a distance away. And if you're playing on darker surfaces like grass or pavement or something, then cheese or chicken chunks work really, really fantastically. Okay, so use the right food is number 2. Number 3 is use a food that has a high enough value to get your dog really motivated. You don't want them going, I'll go over and check it out, but, I'm not that hungry and the food's not that good. You want them really wanting that food. You want that common object to be highly attractive to your dog. You don't want it to be so attractive that they flip out if they get overwhelmed by, exciting food, but you want it to be attractive enough that they're really motivated to do the game. So use the right value of food. And I guess my 4th tip would be to think of food as, sometimes people think of food as a bribe or a lure, and sometimes it is. But in Funder, there's absolutely no reason ever to use food as a bribe or a lure. In Funder, the food is a common object that you can synchronize your movements around. And I think just putting that thought in your head and then letting it go just makes it more powerful. It makes your use of the food more powerful. Because you start loving, having that food and throwing it. It becomes something that you like instead of something that you're like, why do I have to use the food? It becomes, a valuable part of the equation here. And that helps your dog to value it more too. So think of the food in the right way, and then, or have the right mindset around the food. And then the last tip would be to be present and just feel the game. So if you're trying to consciously do everything that I just described here, it is not going to work. I described it consciously because we love to understand what's happening, and putting that thought in our head focuses our subconscious. But then you got to let it go and let your subconscious do the work. Your subconscious will make it all happen. So your conscious mind is way, way, way too slow and cannot even begin to process the amount of data needed for these actions to coordinate and synchronize. It's not designed for that. It can't do that. So just let it go. Just be present and just feel the bodily sensations, and you'll realize how good thunder really feels when you do that. So that's probably actually the most important one. If I had to give one tip, I would say just let go of your thoughts and be present, and everything else will actually take care of itself, because the desire for resonance is innate. It's in everything, and everything about your body is designed to push you in that direction. So just be present and let it happen. So clearly, Thunder is an awesome, awesome game. And one of the best things that you can do for you and your dog's sense of well-being is to experience this resonance that Thunder provides so much opportunity for, and a way to get it so easily. So if you want to feel better, if you want to feel a strong sense of well-being, if you want your dog to feel that safety and well-being and belongingness, go play Thunder. Have some fun.